The Lynette Brown Show. This be the Lynette Brown Show.
She's always ready and on time.
The Lynette Brown Show.
When you got something that's on your
The Lynette
mind,
Brown Show.
whatever you got going on, she knows the
The
deal.
Lynette Brown Show.
Well, we always keep it real.
LBS, the hottest mix, the best talk show of the South. Woo. I am the fiery diva, keeping airways hot on your favorite station. Thank you guys for tuning in with me once again. We've got a really nice show lined up for you, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Mr. Roger Thompson, and he is our guest speaker today. And we're going to be talking about homicides and the rates, as far as homicide and how they have increased, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it is just, it's incredible. And we're going to talk about that, and we're going to try to talk just a little bit about drugs, because we know that that right there is pretty much the reason why the homicides are going up. Is drugs, economics, all kinds of things. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back right after these messages. Don't go.
This portion of the show is brought to you in part by Melonhead Fabrications. We specialize in all of your welding and fabrication needs. We build race cars, we build grills, anything dealing with metal. We can build it for you. Give us a call, 256-585-1756. Again, that number is 256-585-1756. That's Melonhead Fabrications, located at 2908 Pike Avenue, Huntsville, Alabama, right off of Sparkman Drive. Give Derek Jamar a call, 256-585-1756 or 256-682-4512. Melonhead Fabrications, where we're making all of your dreams come true.
Welcome back to the LBS, the hottest mix, the baddest talk show of the South. I am the fiery diva, keeping the airwaves hot on your favorite station. Thank you guys for tuning in with me once again. You've got many options, but you decided to come back with me this morning, and I do appreciate it. Mr. Thompson, thank you so much for coming up and being a guest once again on the LBS. And Mr. Thompson, let's talk a little bit about homicides, because every time you turn your TV on, somebody has been murdered. Late breaking news. Murder in Madison County. Murder in Florence. That's your hometown.
Right.
Talk to us a little bit about your hometown and what's going on there.
Well, the last, say, year, our homicide rates is going up. There's been a lot of somewhat hideous murders. They had quite a few, just abnormal murders where guys, one guy shot two ladies in recently, executed, shot both of them in the head. It was a shotgun, then shot the dog. So we have these type of, events going on, these type of things happening right now in our community. And the sad thing about, these individuals we roll around in our community, it's like every other night. I don't know, drugs involved, whatever. We see it just a rise in violent crime.
Yes, sir. Well, you're finding now people don't value life.
Our life is actually becoming real cheap. It's sad, but I was actually talking to a young man that's from another state, neighboring state, and he said that you could actually have a man executed as low as $1,500 in the streets. There's guys that will literally take your life for $1,500. And it makes you think. So life is like we get like Mexico and the third world country.
Well, let's talk a little bit, because we're going to brush a little bit on the judicial system, because you're very familiar with it, because you were a former inmate of Limestone Correctional Facility. So, and I mean, you know a lot about, the procedures and all this kind of stuff. A lot of things that people don't know. And I'll reference something that happened here recently, and I'm not going to, reference any certain event or whatever. But you have a situation where you've got these young boys that are in trouble, deep trouble. lot of kids don't understand. You know, you have them and they're like, okay, you know, they listen to all this music and I ain't gonna snitch. I ain't gonna snitch. I ain't gonna snitch. Roger, please tell them, you know, you're gonna have to snitch if you don't want to go to prison for the rest of your life.
They got this thing about the law of the streets, you don't snitch, you don't tell, and that's the code of the street. The rappers, talk about it, read about some movies, it's big taboo if you don't tell. I come up, snitches, just, banging, just, look down on me, you told, my mom even taught me, don't be a taboo to it. But, like I told a young man not long ago, first of all, make yourself preservation. Now we can sit here and a person say they're not going to snitch, they're not going to do this, but, I had some friends of mine that were incarcerated, had federal charges, and they were all family, close-knit family, and I watched 22 guys turn on 4 guys, and they were all best friends, they all knew each other. Drunk, and it was no end to the closest of these guys. But when you're looking at life without prison, in prison, or you're looking at 30 years in prison, say, oh, that changed. Yes. It's easy for us to say, hey, I'm strong, and I'm not, I'm going to hold it down, and I'm going to keep it gangster, I'm going to keep it real. But you always, like I tell these young men, it ain't but one gangster, that's the DAs in court.
Hello.
I'm real gangsters, what I'm saying? And trust me, when a man has the power to take your life forever, he can put you in, give you, sentence you to death, or he can give you life without, or he can give you 30, 40 years.
Yeah, that's still life to me.
Those are the gangsters. Right. Make no mistake about it. Those are the real gangsters. I'm not calling our local DAs bad guys and not like that. But I'm saying these are the guys that don't play.
You have to speak that language to these kids, though. You have to speak that to them. They're the real G's.
Yeah, exactly. And they need to learn, to respect law and authority. Because if they don't, they will use it against you. I mean, if you do wrong, you're gonna pay for it. Exactly. If you get caught up in something, you're gonna give an account of it. That's the law of the land.
Well, you know what, and for those who have just tuned in, you're tuning into the LBS, the hottest, biggest, the baddest talk show of the South. We're talking to Mr. Roger Thompson today, and we're talking about homicides, and we're just giving you guys a little one-on-one on the judicial system, We're just talking a little bit about the laws and things that you need to talk with your kids about, and not just your kids, just things that you need to just consume and be informed on as well. And Roger, what a lot of kids don't realize, a lot of people don't realize, when you take a plea bargain, sir, that is another way of saying, I'm going to snitch. I am going to snitch to get this plea bargain, because if the DA comes to me and, and they negotiate something and they say, hey, look, you rat on your homeboy, if you don't, I'm going to give you 25. What? If you tell me everything that he did, or everything I want to know, I'm going to let you ride out here with me.
Well, I'm going to say it like this, that's why I can explain it. I was in transit. Some years ago, and the federal marshals, I was in transport. They had me in transit. And I had 2 federal marshals with transport who was on the interstate. And I was talking to them, and I had a friend of mine that, a guy that I know that just got sentenced to a large amount of time through the federal system.
Yes.
And one of the marshals, I asked him, did he know the guy? He said, yeah, I transported him several times. He was a good fellow. And he ended up getting, like I said, a large number, some years, of life. He spent a lot of time in his life. A lot of people do a lot of time. So I asked him, I said, well, what happened? He was like, man, he said, what it comes down to. He said, this is what a federal marshal told me. He said, the first one, he said, I've been a marshal for 13 years. And it's one thing I learned. The first one to tell is the one that comes out on top.
Okay, you said a mouthful. We're going to have to take a break, but you said a mouthful, because I've got something I want to actually rebut on that. Not a rebuttal, but I do want to tell you about a situation here. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who have just tuned in, you're tuning in to the LBS, the hottest, biggest, baddest talk show of the South. I am the fiery diva, keeping their waves hot on your favorite station. Time to go into a quick commercial break. Don't leave me. I'll be back right after this message.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved the wretch like me.
Reynolds Funeral Home announces with deepest sympathy the passing of Mr. Mark E. Ramsey, 44, of Decatur, Alabama. Mr. Ramsey died April 18, 2014, at Decatur Morgan Hospital. Funeral services were held on Friday, April 25, 2014, at 1 p.m. at Reynolds Funeral Home.
I was lost, but now I'm found.
La di da da da, la 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 la.
Lynette Brown Show. This be the Lynette Brown Show.
She's always ready and on time.
The Lynette Brown Show.
When you got something that's on your
The
mind,
Lynette Brown Show.
whatever you got going on, she knows the
The
deal.
Lynette Brown Show.
Well, we always keep it real.
Yes, the hottest, biggest, the baddest talk show of the South. I am the fiery diva, keeping their waves hot on your favorite station. Thank you guys for tuning in with me once again. Ladies and gentlemen, so many different options, like I stated earlier, but you decided to come back with the diva, and I do appreciate all the loyal viewers that I have. And we do have Mr. Roger Thompson here, and we are keeping it 100. We are keeping it real. He just told me during break, he said, "Sister, you on fire." I said, "Yes, the fiery diva, of course." Okay, Roger, before we had gone into break, we were talking about plea bargains. Okay, but you got some of these guys, they're like, okay, well, I'm not going to take the plea bargain. I'm not guilty. I didn't do anything. So therefore, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to keep it gangster. Please explain and relay that to the people that may have children or may be in this situation, how sometimes if you don't, you just bury yourself.
That's correct. If you know, the whole purpose of a plea bargain, you know, is to give you a break. You know, they'll say, okay, hey, we don't want to give you, you know, the maximum sentence. So we don't offer you this plea. Now, if you don't take this plea, you know, we're going to take it to trial. And if you take it to trial 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose. You know, and a lot of the reasons that they're offering plea bargains now is money. It's all about money because it costs so much to try a person now. You know, so you have a large percentage of people that are taking plea bargains, you know, in a lot of these cases. So these kids got to understand, you know, that it's choices. Let me back up. Choices and consequences. The choices that you make, you have to recognize the consequences that come with it. Now, if you don't accept a plea bargain, you can get ready to take the full amount of time that the state can give you. You know, that's the bottom line.
Because more than likely, not to cut you off, sir, more than likely, the person, you know, that you may have been affiliated with crime, they took the plea bargain. And
Right.
you said a mouthful, you said, when that guy told you, that I think it was the federal marshal,
Right.
and earlier, he said the one that speaks first is less likely to commit this time.
That's right. You know, I mean, it's just, and worse is, you know, I've seen it 100 times. You know, it's nothing new under the sun. You know, the first guy that tells gets the break. You know, and usually the guy that doesn't, you know, is the fall guy. You know, somebody, you have to keep in mind when a crime is being committed, been committed, somebody committed a crime.
That's right.
You got to pay. You got to give account of what you do. That's just what a lot of people think. Okay, I committed a crime, but I ain't got to, you know, be punished for it. If they catch you, without a reason, without knowing that you've done something, you know, committed some type of crime, then you must keep in mind that I got to pay my due. You know, a lot of people don't want to face the reality of paying the due.
Right, that's what you're dealing with. And then you have cases where they're like, well, they're not telling the truth. You know, if they took a plea bargain, but they're not telling the truth. Well, you know, probably not. They probably wasn't completely honest. But the point of it is, they're going to be walking out of there before a year. You know?
The first one to take that plea is going to be claiming the lesser sentence, the lesser time, if any time.
If any. You said that not
any
more
time.
there.
And then, you know, he's going to usually be the one, you know, to testify against his co-defendant. You know, and I mean, that's the way it's always been. It's nothing new.
It's nothing personal.
Right. It's nothing personal. It's law.
It's
It's
law.
law. It's law. You know, we make it into a personal thing
Right.
in our communities and stuff like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's law. This has been going on. They've been making plea bargains for 200 years in courtroom. You know, so this is nothing new under the sun. You know, it's all about, like I said, self-preservation. How far are you willing to go to save your own neck?
Exactly.
You know, that's what it really comes down to. And like I said, I don't condone the person either way. You know, I don't. I believe if a man does something, if you're wrong, you get caught up into it. You know, you pay for it. You pay for it. You know, when I was sentenced, I took a plea bargain. Okay. I was sentenced to 20 years in prison. I took that plea, and it was a hard thing. But the judge, the DA, told me, if you don't take this plea, I promise you, I'm gonna give you 99 years if you take this to trial.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to take a quick commercial break. I know this is getting even better. We're going to have to get Mr. Thompson up here once again because we've got to talk about some other things. This guy, you are a consultant. And that's what I failed to mention in the earlier, when in the introduction. This guy's a consultant, ladies and gentlemen, and he will talk to your boys, you know, especially if they've gotten into some kind of trouble. You know, he will talk to them. So we're going to put his information on the screen. But we've got to take this quick commercial break. Don't leave me. I'll be back.
This portion of the show is brought to you in part by Melonhead Fabrications. We specialize in all of your welding and fabrication needs. We build race cars. We build grills. Anything dealing with metal, we can build it for you. Give us a call, 256-585-1756. Again, that number is 256-585-1756. That's Melonhead Fabrications, located at 2908 Pike Avenue, Huntsville, Alabama, right off of Sparkman Drive. Give Derek Jamar a call, 256-585-1756 or 256-682-4512. Melonhead Fabrications, where we're making all of your dreams come true.
Hi, welcome to Bad News Barbecue. You need to come down here. The ribs are succulent and tasty and juicy. The pork is off the chain. The turkey is spicy. You will love it. We'll see you soon.
I'm Priscilla Kelly, and I'm the manager here at Bad News Barbecue. Not only do we have great food, but we also help different organizations with their fundraising events. We also do catering for different family reunions and also business organizations. So please come on out and let us help you with your church, your school, or local nonprofit organization. And we'll also cater your family
What do we have going on here?
I just got through cutting up some ribs that I prepared for my customers. I marinated them overnight and smoked them for about 4.5 to 5 hours.
Well, Chris, now you do fundraisers as well, right?
Yes, ma'am. We have a little program that we use that will guarantee to help whatever your organization is to earn money for you, and we also make money doing so. And it's a cost share program, but it don't cost the organization anything to do.
Okay, you work with churches, schools?
Yes, ma'am. We've done a couple of churches, and we have done a couple of events for some schools, and we're going to reach out to more people because it's a very simple program, and it can help you earn money.
Okay, and tell us where you can be reached.
I can be reached by 256-653-6893, and I'm located off of Oakwood Avenue on Gray Street. 1217 is the address.
It really doesn't get any better than that, ladies and gentlemen. We're at Bad News Barbecue, where actually the sauce is not needed.
They're cooked to perfection. Enjoy them a lot. You should come down and see them at 1217 Gray Street off of Oakwood Avenue.
This portion of the show is brought to you in part by Cakes by Sally Ray. Try us and our homemade specialties. We do catering, small businesses, and corporate businesses. Call us 256-520-3112. We also do wedding consultations. Give us a call 256-520-3112. Taste beyond the icing. This portion of the show is brought to you in part by New York Life license agent Richard Alexander. Give Richard a call at 256-533-9770, or you can reach Richard at 256-520-9730. Richard Alexander, New York Life license agent. Stop by and see Richard at 200 Clinton Avenue, Suite 600, Huntsville, Alabama, or give him a call 256-533-9770.
Welcome back to the LBS, the hottest, biggest, the baddest talk show of the South. I am the fiery diva, keeping their ways out on your favorite station. Time winding down just a little bit, but not quite yet. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to come back and I wanted to talk to him about, I wanted to talk to the parents. I want to talk to mom and dad, because a lot of times the parents are like, well, you know, if this is going to save him, you know, maybe this is for the best. Maybe he needs to go and this will save him, save his life, or this will teach him a lesson. Roger, please tell these people, you don't want your child.
Yeah, this, you know, I hear a lot, you know, of parents over the years, you know, prison saved the kid, and all of that. But you know what I want to stress to, you know, any parent out there that has a child that is on his way to prison or getting in trouble, you know, prison's not particular. It won't say it. It does more damage than it does.
It's not the way.
You know, it's not the way. Your child will, in most cases, come out worse than he did in heaven. He will learn more wrong than he will learn right in prison. That's just the way up. You know, and another thing, you know, parents, I understand, you know, I've seen a lot of parents, you know, allow their kids to go on. They wasn't real supportive of them. They had money, but a lot of it was embarrassment. You know, a lot of that, and they kind of just let their kids go through the system. Okay, I'm gonna let them teach a lesson, and in the end, it ended up hurting them more than it did them any good. And then the flip side to it is that a parent has got to understand is when you allow your child to get in the system, it takes money, and I mean a lot of money to maintain a young man in prison. You know, we're talking thousands of dollars a year. We're talking $5,000 to $6,000 just in phone calls. This is all going to the state. We're not talking about the snacks, the $30 to $40 to $50 a month, $100 a month that's going to require these kids, that you know, these young men to have just to survive in prison. Now, a lot of people think they feed, which they do. They feed you 3 meals. You got as they say, 3 hots in their cot. You know, you get that, but it ain't that hot. You know what I'm saying? The food ain't all that, you know, so you have to catch commissary to, you know, to make up. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to get hungry. Now, it was many a nights that I was hungry. You know, and I ate 3 meals a day. And I mean, I literally know what it's like to be hungry once I went to prison. So, you know, they have to take that into consideration. It's like, hey, your child goes to prison, you still got a responsibility to take care of somebody that can't take care of themselves if you love your child. And most mothers I've seen go all out and spend thousands of dollars on your kid, get 10, 15 years in prison. You can get ready to spend before he gets out. We're looking roughly between $5,000 and $10,000 or more, you know, that you can spend on just sending them money and on phone bills, you know. And I think that's the flip side that a lot of parents, they don't see that, you know, and then it's just the offset. Like I told a young man that I'm counseling about a week ago, when you go to prison, you do a year or two, you can maybe bounce back. It's still gonna stagnate your life, okay? But if you do 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, it's hard to bounce back from that. You understand? It's hard. You go, you get an education, you can get your degrees, you can get all of that, but you got to remember that this is a 10-year gap absent from your life.
Yes.
While everybody else's life is moved
Moving on.
your life has been at a standstill for 10 years. So you're behind on everything. And you never catch up. You never catch up. You have to accept the reality of, hey, this is what it is. You know, I'm not going to go to college. I got these felonies. I'm not 9 times out of 10 going to get a good job because of these felonies. You know, and I have to accept what comes to me. I can't really just go get it. I just got to accept what's given now. You know.
Roger, and I know, ladies and gentlemen, I know we're going to be running out of time here in just a little bit, but I really want to squeeze this in because I always talk with my guests before we actually come on the show. I always have a conversation with them. Roger, please tell them about that first year in prison. And I mean, and we're just keeping it 100 now. But until they learn the prison life, those kids are going to get pimped for a lot of things in prison that first year until they get prison savvy.
If you don't have, you know, you come into prison, you don't have somebody to lace you up, they say. You don't have homeboys, and you might get off, you know, there were some times, some camps I got to while I was by myself. I didn't have no friends, I didn't have no family, or nobody to say, hey, you know, this is the ropes, this is what happened. I had to learn everything on my own, you know. So in a lot of cases, you know, you come in, you've never been in prison, you never know nothing about it, you know. I mean, you have guys that prey on young men, and it's not just about homosexuality.
Right, of course.
You know, it's not about
get the snacks,
right.
you know, get
it's
the little money on the books.
It's all about the potato chips, the cookies, you know, the money, the cigarettes.
Right.
You know, all of this here is like, this is their life now. These things that are simple to us, cookies and potato chips, we take it for granted because we get it every day. But in prison, that's money.
Yeah.
That becomes the number one commodity.
And they're taking
you know?
advantage of these, you may as well say mama's boys because they are, because mama raised them.
Right.
And they take advantage of them, you know.
And you have a group, I'm sorry, but you have a group of guys that pray, they'll watch you, and they know if your family's got money or not. Okay? Now, if you're not street smart and you don't know what to look for, you know, these guys will slide up on you, they'll befriend you, they'll protect you. They'll become your protector. If you get in trouble, they'll keep people out. And it's not so much, as I said, a homosexual gang.
Yeah, of course.
Their motive is bigger. They looking at long term, somebody take care of. But you got a lot of these guys that don't have nobody sending them nothing. So if they slide up under you and become your friend and teach you the ropes and befriend, then you indebted to them.
Yes.
Okay? And you're gonna feel indebted to them, and you're going to
Share whatever
you got. You know, and that's what happens with a lot of young men that goes to prison.
I gotta say this, and ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have to close out on this one, but you said something, and I wanted to get this out. I did not want to leave this out. You know, they says, well, you know, they changed your life over to the Lord when they went into prison. Please talk about that and the prison.
Well, folks, we're out of time. Thank you so much for tuning in to the LBS, the hottest, the biggest, the baddest talk show of the South. Tune in next week for the second portion of Lynette Brown's show, Prison, Homicides, and Drugs. Once again, thank you for being a loyal viewer of the Lynette Brown Show.